What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you stopping by for the first time, do me a real quick favor. See that red subscribe button down below? Go ahead and push that and show your support for the channel. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came to see me. So this is actually going to be the first in a series of 5 reviews for the company Roja Parfums. So I did get a real good wearing today out of the one that I felt was the first one to experience based off the note breakdown and my initial impressions, which I did do an initial impressions. I'll put that video right up above if you want to check that out right now, or wait till after video and go back and check that one out. But so pleasantly surprised, not really surprised, but thoroughly enjoyed would be a better way to put how I feel about my wearing today with this fragrance. And the fragrance we're talking about is from Roja Parfums. This is Scandal Parfum Cologne, a fragrance by Roja Dove. I gotta tell you what, this one, what's a good way to describe this? It's a blast from the past with a modern twist, would be a good way to look at this. It's a classic fougere with that rhubarb note that just gives it that twist, that extra something. So release year was this year of 2019. It is classified as an aromatic fougere. Presentation on this one, I mean, I know the shape is very standard for these bottles, but the presentation overall, that gradient, slightly purple, deep blue design, the insignia signature on the cap, atomizer. Oh, give a little shot for the opening. Very beautiful presentation. Now, like I said, with it being a square bottle like this, it's not breaking the mold, but everything around that presentation really adds some pizzazz and some flair to it. So for the presentation, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now, let's get into this scent, because it is something special, I will say. So let's go into our note breakdown first, and then we'll discuss what I get from it. So top notes on this one are lemon, bergamot, petitgrain, mint, lavender, basil, and tarragon. In the mid, you're looking at lily of the valley, rose, jasmine, and violet. And on the base, you're looking at rhubarb, cardamom, clove, nutmeg, moss, patchouli, vetiver, cedar, cashmere wood, sandalwood, tonka bean, labdanum, ambergris, and musk. Quite a complex amount of notes. This one really does change throughout the life of the wear. It really does. In the opening, like I said, it's going to hit you in the face with everything you expect of the classic powerhouse fragrances. Think the original Dior Eau Sauvage. Think fragrances like that. Classy, masculine, vintage styled fragrances that were just elegant and screamed class in those days. Now ramp it up with some more modern ingredients for a different pace and transition from opening to the mid and the heart. So in the opening, like I said, you're going to get that vintage feel. You're going to get a burst of lemon, bergamot, lavender, basil, and tarragon. It's going to be very herbal, very citrus in the opening, and very fresh, spicy. You're going to get the moss throughout, I find. To my nose, I smell the moss opening all the way through the dry down, right before you get to the deep dry down. And then the transition, it's still very fresh, spicy, very green, with a rhubarb twist at this point. That rhubarb really starts to come in after about 15-20 minutes. You kind of get a hint of it. You can kind of detect it in the background if you really look for it in the opening, but after a few minutes it really starts to come out a bit more. And then you're going to get a touch of that jasmine. I don't really get a lot of the floral notes. I don't really detect the violet or the rose or the lily of the valley, but I do get a little bit of the jasmine. And then the spices start creeping in a lot more, the clove and the nutmeg, and it just starts getting a bit warmer. I know there's no really classification for it having a warm spice to it, but it radiating off of my chest and even right now off of my hand, I find it has a bit of a warmth to it, a little spiciness, a little bite, a little edge. And then once you get into the dry down, it's going to maintain that warmth from the green notes and the spices. And then I never really get any sandalwood or cashmere wood. I do get the cedar wood in the dry down though. Once you get into that deep dry down, I find it's just basically a cedar and moss base, which is very pleasant. It's powerful enough to hold for quite a while. The complexity of this scent didn't surprise me. I was expecting that from this house. I was expecting some complexity and expecting it to change and have several different phases, and it did not disappoint. Very high quality, very beautiful scent. It does remind you of a lot of things, but not completely unique at the same time. It's not run-of-the-mill, but not unique. Follow me? So for that, with the scent, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now, longevity. I did get every bit of 9 hours until it became a skin scent. It's not really there anymore on my chest. We're at that 12, 13 hour mark right now. But even at the 9 hour mark, I could still get whiffs of it from time to time. So I kind of stopped clocking it at 9 hours. So for that, I'm looking at a 9 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 in longevity. Now, projection. So this was quite interesting because as soon as I walked into work, I got 2 compliments. 2 people immediately said something. It radiates beyond arm's length, probably in that 6 to 10 foot range for the first hour. It's actually quite heavy in the opening. Then the following hour, it kind of creeps into that arm's length territory. So it's no slouch. It's not sitting real close to the skin. But after about that 2 hour mark, 2.5 hour mark, I would say it really started drawing in a lot closer to my skin. It did leave a mild scent trail, nothing where, 10 feet behind me, if you're walking behind me, you could smell me. But within a few feet following me, I had a pretty good scent trail going. I had a third compliment go on around lunchtime, which was at the 4 hour mark, I believe, from when I was wearing it. And then, like I said, it kind of stays kind of close to the skin with a little mild scent trail till about that 9 hour mark. I was still getting whiffs. So for that projection, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Overall, this is definitely an 8 out of 10 fragrance. This is one that, in my opinion, I know it's a bit pricey. It's one to try for sure. I would say get your hands on a sample or a decant and do your own testing for sure. Use this as a baseline for my thoughts and other reviewers that I'm sure a lot of you are going to watch reviews on this. I would say this is definitely a try before you buy. It's very good. It's not the most youthful scent for sure. This is going to be more the mature crowd, I would say, at the youngest 25 on up. Really, anybody can wear anything. I understand all that, but who I see this working for the most. This is going to be your business professionals. This is going to be somebody that likes to be put together, well put together, and how they dress and how they carry themselves. This has a class to it. It really does. This is a classic masculine fragrance with a modern twist. That's what I feel is the best way to describe Scandal. The name's fitting, the color's fitting, the scent profile, it all melds perfectly together. I would say if it's in your ballpark and your budget and you want to get it, go ahead and get it. It's a great fragrance. For those of you that $295 is kind of a hefty price, and I totally understand that, trust me, I would say get your hands on a sample or a decant. Links are in the description if you want to try to get your hands on a decant and try it out. You may fall in love with it. You may have to have a bottle. So, absolute pleasure wearing this one today. Was sent out to me for review, but all of these thoughts were my own. Was not paid for any of this. I think it's a great fragrance. I really do. So far, my initial impressions are great on the entire collection. I look forward to doing more. I'm actually going to wear Vetiver tomorrow. And we'll see how that goes. But until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. Let me know, have you tried Scandal already? Have you tried any of the other ones from the line? And do you enjoy them? I think it was great. I enjoyed it. If I didn't have more to test, I'd probably wear it again tomorrow because I really did enjoy it. Very herbal green, very fresh, spicy, right up my alley. And perfect for, we had a cool front. It was in the 60s today, in the middle of the day. It was perfect for this weather. Really was. But until next time, guys, I will say if you get your hands on Scandal and you give it a spray now, you're definitely going to thank me later. Have a great day, guys.